Hi, my name is Daudi Mugabe and this is Business Mike episode 22. My guest today is Genevieve George. She's the founder and CEO of OneShift, an Australian online job network which matches employees with employers. In this episode, Genevieve shares some of the lessons she's learned as a young CEO at the helm of a fast-growing company. All this and more next on Business Mike. Thank you, Jen, for joining us today on Business Mike. Could you briefly tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. So my name's Jen George. I'm 24 and started a business called OneShift. OneShift is an online talent marketplace that instantly connects local candidates and local businesses. We have over 460,000 users and 37,000 businesses using us around Australia and recently New Zealand. And yeah, I suppose it's a dating website, but for work and hopefully not as sleazy.
Right. And do you have any business role models in general, people that perhaps inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
I think my parents, because they've both started businesses themselves and growing up in that environment, being, on the factory floor and learning, I guess, what to do and what not to do. Outside of that, I've never really had, I guess, there's always the usual Richard Branson or things like that haven't really been a direct impact on my life, but things like Brett Blundy from BB Retail Capital and things like that I think have had the most impact.
Right. And when you became a business owner, are there any particular responsibilities that took you by surprise, things you didn't account for that you just started doing?
I think people come into play. It's all well and good putting a business plan together and making an Excel spreadsheet look amazing, but having to manage humans and things that just happen, life happens, family. Unfortunately, people pass away or get sick, or exciting things like pregnancies and people starting families, and you just have to try and accommodate for all those things because we're a family, or our team is a family. We spend more time together than we do our own families, so you've got to support each other through the good and the bad.
Well, your business is one of those that grew extremely fast. Did you get a chance to basically watch it grow, or did you look down, start the business, look up, and it's exploded?
It's still a moving beast for me, that's for sure. It's an amazing journey to be a part of, but we're only halfway. We've got so much still to achieve in our business life, and especially for myself, that we want to grow this business into. So I think it's just every month or every year we kind of look back and go, wow, what just happened, or where have we been? And you've got to actually look back and go, look at the numbers and actually take into account of what we've actually done. So we grew 645% in revenue in the last financial year, and it wasn't until we kind of looked back and did those numbers to realize how incredible the growth was.
How do you take a break from your work? How do you kind of slow it down and recollect yourself? Are there any activities you do or anywhere you go?
I think for us, it's more about, people say, what do you do for work-life balance? And what you do in life is you do what you're passionate about. And OneShift is what I'm passionate about. So there's no real, I guess, difference for me. I think stepping back and really looking at the bigger picture is part of my job. I have to always be looking at where everyone's heading, and rather than getting stuck in the detail. Otherwise, it's hard to lead a group of people or a business in the right direction. So we have a very clear vision. So our vision is to change the way that people choose to work. And we want to create a marketplace where people can pick and choose, plug and play, work, play, experiences, life, whatever they want to do to suit their lifestyle or really create their own lifestyle. So we're on track for that vision, and we're just trying to push everyone in the right direction.
Your website basically links employers with potential employees for be it 1 hour shifts or long-term employment. And there's an interview you did where you said the fastest someone's gotten employed was 27 minutes.
Yes, in Leongatha, Victoria. It's still our best time for somebody to get work and then turn up and actually start serving coffees. And that's really because of the three sort of drivers within our business, which is technology, so ensuring that the speed is there, having accurate data. So data is a real driver of our business. We collect every single possible thing we possibly can and use that to make the site or the marketplace give a better result to businesses and get candidates into work, because that's what we're there for, but also making it cost effective. It's important to make sure it's cost effective because we're an algorithmic business, and it's making sure that we have the volumes that we need to really get the efficiencies and also a better result for everyone in the marketplace at the end of the day.
Now, for anyone that's starting a business, just like yourself in the beginning, you have an idea and a vision, but you need people with certain skills. For instance, people that understand coding or software. How do you bring on board a skilled team that can help you build your business? Is it a matter of having the money to pay them, or do you have to sell them a vision as well?
I think it's selling the vision. At the end of the day, money only gets you so far, and getting people's buy-in is really important, no matter what you're paying as salaries. It's about painting the picture of where you're going and making sure that you have like-minded people within the group. If you don't have like-minded people who want to work hard and want to get, it should be successful as a company, then it's never going to work. It's going to have a very short time frame, and the hassle of onboarding that person and dealing with all the drama it's just not worth it at the end of the day. So we will hire the right fit first, more than anything, and make sure that they are in line with our team values and ready to go on the journey that we're already on.
Yesterday, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we're discussing the whole idea of a business plan. Mm-hmm. What are your opinions on the business plan? Is it a matter of, I'm looking at it from the point of view of someone that's just starting a business from scratch. Must you have the plan on paper? This is my target market. These are my, expected revenues and so on. Or is it a case of just try and see what happens and adjust?
One of our values is test, fail, learn, and doing lots of trials, pushing out what success is or measuring what success is, and really trying to achieve that in that test, and then addressing that. And if it's working, great, replicate, or if it's not, what's the failure? Why did it fail? And look and see what you can learn from it, so you can really adjust and evolve. A business plan is really just an evolving beast. It can't stay stagnant. But you never know everything that's going to happen and how things are going to react or pan out. So I think a business plan is just about thinking about everything, allowing you an opportunity to really put the pen on paper and really get that bigger vision for yourself, so that you can ensure that you can lead other people in that direction. But it's not the be all and end all. It's not something that's going to stop you from starting your business. The worst thing you can do is not just get out there and give it a crack. Just start having that first conversation. Start, blogging or tweeting or whatever about the concept, and just see how people react and get people on board. You can always, business plans change every day, and you can't live and die by it.
And the test, fail, learn philosophy, if I've got a business and I've got, a team under me, how much room do I give them to experiment, fail, and learn? Do you have like a percentage or wiggle room that you give them to do that?
We have budgets and things like that, but we're not as very specific, I guess, as that. We basically go, we'll have our team trial out lots of different things and see how it reacts, and just put really clear parameters around it. This is why we want to do this. This is what success looks like. These are the numbers, and just test things out. It doesn't matter how much it is, because you can pull it at any time, and that's the purpose of the test. Making sure, or one of the parameters is making sure you can pull it at any time, so that the impact financially on the business is kept to a minimum. We really promote that the teams run themselves like as if they're their own businesses, because the most powerful thing any business can have is have a whole team of entrepreneurs who are out there trying things, pushing the boundaries, and who are leaders within the business, really talking about the business as if it's their own.
And what's your happiest moment at OneShift?
The team. They make me happy every day. I don't think I've had one set moment, but they challenge me, they keep me on my toes, and but also, we have our most fantastic moments together, whether it's getting funding back in 2013 or pushing out new features or new projects or getting, notifications on our app. It's all about having the good times and the bad times together and staying strong as one unit.
And in your opinion, what are the 3 most important things any business ought to have?
People. It doesn't matter how good your idea is, it doesn't matter how good your processes is, it all comes down to the people below you. So I would say that they are the 3 most important things to having a successful business.
And I agree 100%, because sometimes no matter how good you are at a particular skill set, maybe you're the best amongst the team, you still can't do it all without them. So that's definitely important.
Exactly. And you can't, unless you have their buy-in, it doesn't matter how much money you get given from investors or generate yourselves to really grow that business, you'll just end up burning it ridiculously in a lot of stuff ups unless you have the right team executing it.
Ali, you mentioned test, fail, learn philosophy. Are there any mistakes that you've made as a business that maybe people that are listening to this can learn from?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, we've had many instances where things have gone not according to plan. So, for example, we've had a developer accidentally change the price on the website from $30 to 3 cents. And, 2 days later, the accounts are noticing. So, yeah, I mean, there's, attention to detail. Also, always know your exits. So, we've had locked into contracts and not realized that, always set up a contract as if it's in a bad situation, because you always need a swift exit for both parties rather than assuming it's always going to be the honeymoon period, because you don't know what's around the corner. So it's things like that have really defined the business and in setting up, I guess, rules of engagement with suppliers, or ways of operating with code, or ways to actually choose clients that we want to work with. We will push back on clients and not work with them if we don't believe that they're in line with our values, just because it always ends up being a bad situation for both parties, and we don't want to waste anybody's time. We just want to get a good result for our candidates.
When it comes to pricing, normally, because I noticed you started your business as a free service. Now, at what point do you start charging, and what do you make the prices, especially if it's a space that hasn't been explored before?
Yeah, so for us, it was always about, I guess, time of getting features done. So putting in a payment gateway was just a product of when we had time to actually do it, after we were doing all our other features. So we didn't think it was relevant to be charging when the site was half done. You couldn't actually contact a candidate or things like that. So it happened when we got to it, I suppose, and then our payment model has actually changed maybe about 10 times. For us, it's been about adapting to what our users use it for, how they use the system, and what information we can provide them with. So it's a very data-driven approach, and making sure that we get the best results for both our candidates and businesses at all times.
And what's the hardest entrepreneurial decision you've ever made?
Hardest entrepreneurial decision? Oh, that's a tough one. I think you make hard decisions every day as an entrepreneur, but I think it's about how you tackle them. You can take them as the hardest decision you've ever made, or it's just another decision. If you push up the hard decision into big dramatic moments, then it's harder to do them. If you just take them as, just doing your shopping list, then you can handle them better. You can approach them, I guess, more at ease. And it's a business decision at the end of the day, so you've just got to keep moving, and it's an important quality to have as a business leader.
Well, if you had a time machine and you could go back in time to when you were 18 years old, so if you could go back in time and meet yourself as an 18-year-old, what book would you give yourself, and what movie would you tell yourself not to watch?
Don't watch any scary movies. Gosh, that's a tough one. Book to read? I think it would probably be The Lean Startup. I still haven't read it, but I'm sure if I read it, I've heard a lot of good things about it, and apparently our values are very in line with The Lean Startup, so I'd probably get myself to read that and hopefully get a better outcome there. I think also... I guess movie-wise, I don't think there's anything that I wouldn't have watched. I think any movie or any situation that you come across affects kind of the outcome of where we are today. So it's all things that you have to go through.
And are there any cool or remarkable stories that you've experienced there at OneShift that you can share with us?
Yeah, sure. So we've got an 86-year-old woman who pulls shifts in a retirement home. She's got a Cert 3 and 4, and, how your grandkids, great, mine are great. You take your medication, I'll take mine. And what's fantastic about that, it's creating situations that weren't normally possible. It's enabling people to do what they could never do before, now they can through OneShift. So for us, it's about, it's great to hear the stories of the people of OneShift, chefs who are now working at their favorite restaurants, who are passionate about what they do, and businesses who couldn't find the right person but can now do that through OneShift. So it's great about creating those really personal stories through the people of OneShift.
When you started OneShift, when it was an idea in your head, and where you are right now, is it exactly the same, or are they completely different, or is it even bigger than what you had in mind?
Completely different and even bigger than what I had in mind. I think you never really know how things are going to turn out, so it's important to keep an open mind and have the courage to adapt and evolve to the information in front of you. If you're not adapting and evolving to how users are using your site or the concept to suit what the market is looking for, you'll be dead within months.
And what's next for OneShift?
Global domination. No, next for OneShift, I think, is about ending the I guess, calendar year with a big bang. Christmas and summer is one of our biggest, I guess, sort of pickups. We get about 15% of all roles posted in October because of the lead up to Christmas and summer and, all the silly season things. So for us, it's about making sure that we tackle that in the best possible way we can, and then also head out hopefully overseas even further than Australia and New Zealand next year.
Are all the staff over there at OneShift, did they get their employment through OneShift?
Most of our staff did, actually. I can say about 80% of staff actually got their role through OneShift. I think unless we can live and breathe our own product and use it to actually do what we need to do, we can't expect other businesses to do it. So it's important for us.
And if the tables were turned today, so basically if this were your podcast and I was your guest, what's the one question you would ask me?
What's your favorite cocktail?
My favorite cocktail is Sex on the Beach.
Mine's a pina colada.
Okay. Well, how can people get in touch with OneShift or yourself in terms of the social media or the website?
Yeah, go to oneshiftjobs.com, or our Twitter handle is OneShiftJobs, or Ms. MS Jen George for myself, or head to our Facebook page, OneShift Jobs. We're pretty contactable. We respond to pretty much everything pretty quickly, so send any questions or any advice you'd want to hear or anything we can do to help, because we're only here to help.
All right. Thank you so much, Jen, for your time. We really appreciate you sharing with us your experience, and we wish you the very best with OneShift.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for listening to Business Mike today. And if you'd like to listen to more episodes just like this one, simply go to businessmike.com. For all the links and resources mentioned in this particular episode, simply type the name Genevieve or OneShift into the search bar to access her show notes page. Thanks again for listening, and until next Monday, take care.